welcome back. Pictures from the FIFA Club World Cup. Before we go further, let's just tell you what's going to happen in the FIFA Club World Cup, the third place and the final. Let's just give it to you in case you don't know. South American champions and European champions will be in the final. That's Real Madrid taking on San Lorenzo, and of course Cruz Azul, the North American champions, will take on New Zealand part-timers, Auckland City. They almost made it to the final. We're pressed for time, Cecilia, but what do you think will win?
I think it's Real Madrid because when Carlo Ancelotti tells you that, look, I'm going to get this trophy for them, he will definitely get it. He did it in the Champions League. He said he wants to make sure that he wins the La Decima for Real Madrid. And he did it. Of course, FIFA Club World Cup, they haven't won it before. They've appeared just once. They couldn't win it. I think he's definitely going to go for it. He's got all they want, all the players, the coaching crew, the support and everything he needs. And he's in Morocco, close to Spain. So I think they're practically playing just few meters away from home. So I think Real Madrid is winning this one.
Yeah, let me really read these tweets before we go to the English Premier League. We try to leave the Super Eagles issue, but a lot of people don't want to let it go. So I'll just read one or two tweets. Super Sanjay at Sanjay Kenny. I think I know where this one is coming from. He says, you guys are expecting to be up there even with our shambolic qualifiers. It's talking to us that why are we sounding disappointed? Okay, Musa Ismail.
Completely agree with him.
He says what FIFA need is change of administration. Let them change Blatter. And Musa Ismail again still responding to some of the other issues. Said we don't even deserve that position. We're saying ninth position is bad, but he's saying, look, we don't even deserve
to be
there. That we should be behind South Africa. Well, there will always be different views, but what we can all agree on is that the Super Eagles are where all of us do not want them to be at this point in time. All right, let's go to the English Premier League and look at fixtures for this weekend. And one really jumps at you, and it's going to happen on Sunday. But let me quickly run through this one. Manchester City will take on Crystal Palace. Aston Villa take on Manchester United. Hull City take on Swansea. Queen's Park Rangers take on West Brom. Southampton take on Everton. Tottenham take on Burnley. These are some of the fixtures. Most of these games will be played on Saturday. West Ham take on Leicester. Newcastle. The bad results are coming again. Take on Sunderland. But this one, in a minute, I'll have to allow you to talk about this one. Super Sunday, Liverpool, Arsenal. 1 minute. Both sides. Just take a look at it and flip it. Both sides. What do you think will happen?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tough game to predict. And if you check what happened at the weekend to Arsenal, being able to beat Newcastle, who actually were on the 7-game winning streak, I mean, it was huge for Arsenal, 4-0. Liverpool losing to Manchester United, I mean, they were completely dominated at Old Trafford. But at the weekend, playing against Bournemouth, they are trying to use that as a basic that, look, they are on a revival right now, precisely. But you're playing against a side that is not in the Premier League. That's what they've forgotten. So I think it will be a tough one. But I think Arsenal might just pull through. That's if they have the same the same manner, and of course the same confidence they had when they played against Newcastle. I think I'll give it to them. But for Ryan Sterling, who actually scored 2 goals against Bournemouth, I believe if he gets
playing in the unfamiliar striking
precisely role. So if he's able to get his booth right on that day, he might just be on the score sheet. I think it might just end up in
a draw.
In a draw. That's what I think.
A lot resting on his shoulder. And the man in your picture, Mario Balotelli,
won't be in that
once
game.
Again.
It's been suspended.
And how big a miss?
This is really not what Liverpool would need.
At this point.
I think with his performance against Manchester United, I think they won't really miss him much because the chances he had, he could not even convert any. He blew them up. So I think they won't really miss him much. But if you have Lallana playing very well on that day, and you have Ryan Sterling playing very well, and Coutinho playing very well, I think Liverpool might get something out of it. But Arsenal, the game against Newcastle, I was shocked the way they played because Newcastle were a team that were really on the rise. So I was thinking that game might just end in a draw or even a close contest, but that wasn't to be. But precisely, Liverpool losing heavily away, and of course Arsenal winning heavily at home. So when you look at both sides, I think it's going to be a difficult. It tilts against Liverpool, Arsenal more like. But it's going to be a difficult one. If Liverpool can just transport what they did against Bournemouth at the Carling Cup in a quarter-final, they can transport that to this game. they might just get something out of it, which is going to be a draw. But if they cannot do that, I think Arsenal will just run away with the victory.
All right, so that's the big one from the English Premier League. All right, let's leave the English Premier League now and go to some other big leagues across Europe. We're talking about France, Spain, Germany, and Italy, and give to you what we feel. You can also tell us, somebody's also telling us here that he's thinking about the Copa del Rey fixture between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid
last 16.
Last 16, that's a big one that we probably left that out. But you can also tell us, we will. But let's look at some that we've put together for you, selected matches across Europe, big games. Let's take a look at it. And, well, it doesn't necessarily, we just look at some of the top teams and the teams they're playing against. In France, you will always have to talk about French money bags, Paris Saint-Germain. They'll be playing Montpellier. Marseille will take on Lille. Of course, some sort of Nigerian interest in that one for us. And, of course, Marseille used to have a lot of Nigerians. Wasn't a Roma title. Some Nigerians have played for that club. Werder Bremen takes on Dortmund. It will be good to see how Dortmund reacts. It's been a free fall. Mainz. Anthony Huja in that one. We'll love to see how they perform against league leaders Bayern, who have the honors of going into the new year as winter champions.
Unofficial.
Unofficial. But it doesn't get you any trophy anyway.
Precisely.
In the Serie A, big one any day. Roma takes on AC Milan. And this one, of interest to us, again, as Nigerians, Joel Obi factor, Ogenyonazi, Inter takes on SS Lazio in that one. So in Spain, Real Madrid is away, so the others are playing. Barcelona take on Cordoba, Athletic Bilbao take on Atletico Madrid. In this, which of these fixtures, jump at you, or the ones you like to talk about? Because for some of the superpowers, it look like they're facing opposition not too strong.
Strong, precisely. I think you'll be looking at the game between AS Roma and, of course, AC Milan.
Yeah.
Because that's really a tough one.
Key one.
AC Milan trying to be on the rise. They won their game against Napoli 2 goals to nothing. That was a huge one for them. But playing against AS Roma, who happens to be chasing Juve all the way, see how they can get the title from them. It's going to be a difficult game for Felipe Inzaghi. I think this has really been the true test for him, because he played against Inter Milan, fine. That was against Inter Milan, but you really can't compare that. Now you're playing against AS Roma, who is second, and AC Milan, they assist. And if they can win this game, of course, it's going to help them, pursuing that Champions League spot they're chasing, because they know that the title race is definitely out of their reach. So their chase now is definitely playing in the Champions League next season. But I think if they have to play just the way they played against Napoli, AC Milan might just win this one. But with, our friend Fernando Torres was scoring, but it might just help him. And against the match against Napoli, he wasn't even listed as substitute. But I think I'll give it to AC Milan, being that they are on the rise. But AS Roma is a team you really need to fear any day, any time.
And especially on their good day. Okay, let's move on, and let's also see if we have any tweets regarding some of this. Okay, we'll have to move on. Let's leave football for the few minutes that we have and talk about Amir Khan. And I know you're going to laugh, but I'm going to say this. Amir Khan says, look, he's telling Floyd Mayweather, and he's telling the whole world, come and fight me. Why are you running away? You said you're going to fight me. You wanted to fight me in April. You went for Marcos Maidana. Yeah. I'm here. I am the only guy that can give you a decent fight. If you don't fight me, you lose credibility. And I'm saying, we're talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr. here.
You know, one thing I love about boxers is they love making mouth. Let me use that word. I think that's what Amir Khan is trying to. He's trying to draw something from Floyd Mayweather, a reaction from him, or something that will just make the news. Because that's the only way. Come on, you're talking about Floyd Mayweather, who hasn't lost in how many fightes? He hasn't even lost a fight. So if you're looking at that... He
doesn't fight you.
Precisely.
He doesn't lose.
Who are you, a British boxer? I don't know. But then, I think the fight I'm actually waiting for is Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, because it's looking like it's going to happen. People are predicting it's going to be like May 2nd. And he's saying that, he's also talking about that May. You can fight both of them at the same time.
We're pressed for time. Let me quickly read this tweet, and I'd like you to react to something. Suleiman Mohammed says, American Mayweather will be a cracker, but we want the big one. That's Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Just what to talk about. But as we go, let me allow you to talk about this one. The man is back, Benny Eccleston, back as Formula One boss. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I did, because if you check Benny Eccleston, he's been there for decades, right? 2-3 decades he's been in Formula One. It's more like if you're talking about Formula One and talking about Supremo, the person that comes to mind is Benny Eccleston. So you always know he's going to be there, talking about commercial value and all the things that is associated with Formula One. Benny Eccleston, we knew that he always come back. It wasn't at all. It wasn't, especially when that court case, when he agreed that he's going to pay money and settle out of court. I knew that he'll be back to Formula One.
All right, so that's Magnus Carlsen. In your picture, the new chess. I mean, everyone is talking about this guy, and well, I hope he gets to stay on the scene for a while. He's upstaged the former Indian champion, and he's been there. And we'll talk about him later tonight. Of course, on Fridays we talk chess, so we'll talk about him later on the show tonight. All right, I want to say a big thank you to the guys behind the scenes, pressing the buttons and pulling the switches. And of course, I want to say a big thank you to you, yes, you, all of you, for staying tuned and watching the program. Sports This Morning comes your way again next week. Till then, bye-bye.